Today I have with me a special guest who would like to speak on reconstructing the lost India. He is the regional director of ASI. KK Muhammed sir, welcome to the show sir.
Thank you so much.
What is your idea of Bharat?
See, our country, that is Bharat, it consists of different regions, different religions, different races, castes, creed, breeds. For example, you have proto-astroloids here in India. You have Aryans, you have Dravidians, you have Mongoloids, you have everything. So this is a living museum. India is a living museum. And that unity in diversity, that is our main goal also. So you have to have a unified India, and you have to, if you have this unified India, you will be having a very stronger India. You have to compare the progress of India with some of the Far East Asian countries like China and other countries. They have gone far ahead because they don't have any contradiction. This contradiction, either you can celebrate or this would be responsible for your own destruction also. So from this destructive pathway, we have to take them to a constructive pathway. So that is what we are aiming at.
Sir, the left has dominated Indian history for so long. How has this impacted the socio-culture of this country?
For a long time, ICHR, Indian Council of Historical Research, it was under them, because of which, they were in a position not only to dominate, to control the thought process of the whole country. So that has painted only one side of the Indian history. We have to have the other aspects of Indian history also. So for that, these anomalies, you have to correct yourself. So for that, we have to have a new way of thinking.
Sir, the entire nation is celebrating you as a national hero because of the Supreme Court judgment. So Ayodhya is a very long-running dispute on the Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Masjid case. Even though because of your excavations in the site, you had given the proof, but why did it take so long to give the judgment? And what do you feel? Who was the real obstacle for that?
I am not the real hero. The real hero is Professor B.B. Lal, Professor Dr. B.R. Mani, and some other archaeologists. But my contribution in this was that I popularized this aspect which people were afraid of telling. I was in the first excavation. In the first excavation means that excavation was under Professor under Dr. B.B. Lal. So, but things did not come out. Things did not come out for a long time. Then Professor Lal himself came out in 1990 when he was cornered by the left historians. So he was cornered, so forcefully he had to come out. And then I supported him because I was the only Muslim who had participated in that excavation and had seen what is what. Because the temple remains below the mosque also had seen, the pillar is also had seen, the pillar bases also had seen, and then hundreds of terracotta items, which was exposed, which was excavated, that also had seen. So on the basis of which I had given a statement in 1990 on 15th of December that the temple remains were there. But of course it was rejected by this communist historian. Now the thing is, communist historians, they are simply historians. They are not archaeologists, and they have no domain competence to speak on a subject which is associated with archaeology. But the popular perception is that there are some newspapers, and Times of India played a very major role in that one. So once Times of India or some other English newspapers play a very major role, it is very difficult to correct the whole process. So for correcting the whole process, it took another many years, and the 2003 excavation was as a result of this kind of anomalies.
It's not just one Ayodhya. There are 10,000s of temples that have been destroyed for many, many years. So how can we reclaim that?
See, if you are going for reclaiming the entire thing, that would be a very big problem for the country. So because of that, there is a Religious Worship Act of 1991, on the basis of which the cutoff year, whether it is a Hindu or whether it is a Muslim, the cutoff year is 15th of August 1947, except Ayodhya. So we have to keep it in that mind. If we are transgressing that limit, then there will be chaos in the country. So for that, because of which, we should not create many more Ayodhyas. But at the same time, it is the duty of Muslim community to hand over at least few structures. One is like the Krishna's Janam Bhumi, and the second is that Kashi Gyan Vapi Masjid. That thing they should willingly hand it over. But it depends upon the sweet will of the Muslim community. We should not, Hindus as a community, since there is already a Religious Worship Act, we should not create anything new. So that is, that way it would be very helpful for the country.
Rewriting Indian history in the right way, how can this be possible?
This is possible because you have all the materials are there. So all those materials they have to put together in the right way, which was not happening earlier. So for that, you have to have a strong basis also from the side of Archaeological Survey of India, from the side of various universities, which is not happening.
You have been serving in the ASI for a very long time, and we see that the ASI is underfunded and the ASI monuments are under-maintained. So what is the reason for it, and what is the future of ASI?
See, there is no political will to support Archaeological Survey of India. For example, the funding is very meager. We all thought that if the BJP government comes into power, that will give a new fillip to Archaeological Survey of India. It has not happened. And on the other way, it is down way, because sometimes I have feeling that Congress was far better than BJP as far as this area is concerned. They did not interfere. Now too much of interference is there, and the funding is almost, it is very meager funding is there now for Archaeological Survey of India.
Bharatiya Janata Party always speak about India, Indian heritage, Hindutva and all this,
but they don't act. That is the problem. And I can speak it because I was in Archaeological Survey of India. I can speak it because I am not a member of BJP. Otherwise, if you are a member of BJP, then you cannot speak it. I am a true liberal person, so I speak it very openly. And BJP and RSS should change, and they have to have the right person also. For example, when you select as for a Ministry of Tourism and Culture, it should be the right person. For example, we had Jagmohan Ji in Congress government during BJP's period in the first Ministry of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. You have to have that kind of visionaries. Otherwise, things are not going to improve. If you have a wrong person at the right place, things are not going to happen. Then that is what is happening. That has happened earlier also, and what is happening now.
So your last word on reconstructing the lost India. What is your last word? The lost India. Reconstructing, how to reconstruct?
If you want to reconstruct the lost India, the lost Indian heritage, you have to support Archaeological Survey of India, because I have reconstructed more than 100 temples in various parts of the country, and especially in Chambal Valley itself, along with the dacoits, I have done it. And similarly, there are hundreds of monuments all over the country. But for that, whether you have the willpower to do that one, and if you are concentrating all the powers in Delhi office, then nothing would happen. That is another problem now with the present government.
Thank you for your time spending with us. It was great to be with you, sir. Thanks a lot.